accessible, economically feasible, and culturally acceptable. Okay, I mean, it should not exploit the culture also. Fine. So can you name some examples, Moksha, resources?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
Uh, Iron materials, wood, water,
yeah. Soil, animals. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so let's do a quick revision. I'm going to share my screen. Fine, you see my screen?
Yeah, ma'am.
Okay, so we have the classification of resources, that is on the basis of origin, on the basis of accessibility, on the basis of ownership, on the basis of status of development. Okay, so first we are going to do on the basis of origin. Here we have two types of biotic resources and abiotic resources. So here is what is the example? Can you give me of the definition of biotic resources, Taria? It is on the screen. You can read.
resources are which are from the nature are called biotic resources.
Yeah, and which are not natural, that are which are obtained from the biosphere is biotic resources, and those that are obtained from non-living things, that is abiotic resources. Okay. Now we have renewable resources. Renewable resources are that can be renewed, and non-renewable is that is once exhausted, it will take millions of years to renew. So examples of renewable is sunlight, air, water, and non-renewable is coal, petroleum, metals. Okay. Next we have on the basis of ownership. Individual resources are of individual resources that we own personally, that is our house, plot, our field, car, our pen, our belongings. Okay. And the community is the one that is in community, or you can say a township or a society owns, that is a picnic spots, that is a park. Okay, you cannot go and litter around the park because it is a community property. Okay, also then there is national resources. Okay, that is technically the entire country belongs to one nation, and even your, if it is your house, if it is if the government wants it, it can take over. Okay, so next, what are the natural resources? These, that is all the minerals, the water, the forest, the wildlife, and also the ocean. Oh, how many oceanic area, that is 12 nautical miles, sorry, 12 nautical miles is, that is 22.2 kilometer. Okay, on the coastal side is ours. Then it is the international. After that, it is an international resource. Okay, now what is the international resource? These are the, especially the oceans, the North Pole, South Pole. These are those that the country does not, nation does not own, or you can say the open seas. This is governed by the international institutions. Okay, I'm going a little fast because we will have to end the chapter today. Now, on the basis of status development, we have potential resources, we have developed resources, we have stock, and we have reserved resources. Okay, so let us study about the potential resources. That is the, we have solar, we have the sun, so we have the solar energy. We have wind, so we have the wind energy. Okay, so these are potential. Why? Because we are not actually using them, because to use them we need to have technology, and we are not, we don't have the technology. Okay, now the developed resources are that we have the coal, the petroleum. We have done the survey of how much coal we have. We have done the survey of what is the quality and what is the quantity also. So these are the, those that is the rivers, how much water we have, how much petroleum and coal and iron we have. So these are all developed resources. Stock, stock, like we have water. Okay, now we need hydrogen, we need oxygen. Okay, we have water, but we are not able to produce hydrogen, we are not able to produce oxygen because we don't have the appropriate technology. Okay, so this is the stock. Okay, now the reserved. Now reserved is that we have forest, but we cannot cut down all the trees at a time. Okay, we have water, but we cannot use up all the water. Okay, so we have to reserve some of our resources for the future use. Okay, so the resources which can be utilized with the help of existing technology, but we do not use them because we have kept them for future requirement. Okay, now the development of resources are very important because they fulfill our needs. Due to indiscriminate use of resources, we have to face many types of problems in today's time. Okay, now let us talk about problems caused by indiscriminate use of resources. Now, the first problem is the depletion of resources for satisfying the greed of few individuals. Means some rich people, they can buy a forest, okay, and then they'll cut down the trees, okay, and now this is going to cause discrimination in the climate, could cause soil erosion, it could cause climate change. Okay, now second problem is the accumulation of resources in few hands, which divides the society into two segments, the rich and the poor. The rich gets richer, the poor gets poorer. Okay, and indiscriminate exploitation of resources has led to uh, global ecological crisis. Okay, now these crises are name of the global ecological crisis are global warming, ozone layer depletion, pollution, land degradation. Okay, so this calls for the need of sustainable development. Now the sustainable development is means we have resources and we have to use them in such a way that the environment is not damaged because we need to save the environment for our future generation. Okay, now for this, there is in 1992 there was a then Earth Summit in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Okay, now this was the world's first international Earth Summit that in which more than about 100 countries participated. Okay, now they addressed to the present problems of the environmental and socio-economic development. Now the result was certain global forest principles were taken and 21 and they adopted the Agenda 21. Okay, now to save all this, how do we use all the resources? We need a resource planning. Okay, now we'll talk about our India. Okay, now we have solar in some so resources in our country is not evenly distributed. In somewhere we have solar and wind energy, in somewhere we don't have. Okay, so due to uneven distribution of resources, it becomes necessary to do balanced resource planning. Fine. So how do we do this? The step one is identification and inventory of resources. We need to put in down on our paper how much resources, what resources we have. And for this, we need to do survey, mapping, checking, measurement. Okay. We need to evolve a plan structure. There has to be technology, skilled group and institutions. Now matching the resources plans with overall development plans. Okay, now for development we need technology. Okay, but like you all know, during the British rule our resources were used by the British and it was exported and exploited. Okay, now on the overall the lack of resources in today's time in India. Now India has already lost a lot of its resources. Okay, now for I think about 70 years, India has not allowed import or export and all that. It has put a great check because it needed to preserve its resources. Okay, because it had already been exploited by the British. So in such a situation, it has become necessary to conserve our resources. Like there is a saying of Gandhi ji. Okay, there is enough for everybody's need, but not for anyone's greed. If someone is greedy, the person is going to always have less resources, you will use up all the resources. So now we will talk about our land resources. Okay, in land resources we have agriculture, we are using home, wildlife is there, forest is there. And now let us talk about the distribution of land resource in our country. So 43% is we have plain area, 30% we have mountain, and 27% we have plateau. Remember these percentages. Okay, now land utilization, we have forest, we need to preserve forest. Now land is not there are land that is not available for cultivation because it is barren, or you can be wasteland. There are land for non agricultural use, okay, that could be township areas and all that. Now there are other uncultivated lands, okay, that is used for animal grazing, land of miscellaneous trees, that is the forest you can say, and cultivable wasteland, uncultivated land for more than 5 years. If we have not cultivated a land for 5 years, so it will become kind of not allowed to, not able to cultivate it. So we have fallow land that is uncultivated for 1 year. Okay. Now, other than current fallow lands, there are uncultivated lands that is between 1 to 5 years. So these are also land need to be analyzed. Next, we have the net sown area. We have the gross cropped area, that is area sown from once in a year to area sown from at least once in a year. More than once in a year means more than once means it could be it is cultivated more than within I think 2 times in a year, and area sown at least once in a year. So this total is the gross cropped area of India. Here we have this graph that is there from your it is there in your textbook also. So we have 46%, 46.26%, okay, of area under non-agricultural use. Okay, now in 14-15 it is 45.5. Okay, now the total geographical area that is we have is 3.28 million square kilometers. Okay, now for this, out of this only 93% we have data available, and now 7% data is not available. Okay, why it is not available? What are these areas? These are the areas of Pakistan occupied Kashmir, and there is a part that is occupied by China, and also in east of India we have about some area occupied by China. Okay, now these total form the 7%. The rest of India is 93% whose data are there with us. So because these are occupied by Pakistan and China, that's why we are not able to have the data of this land. Okay, now net zone area, if you see my screen, okay, now net zone area we have in Punjab and Haryana area we have 80%, and we have in Arunachal Pradesh, Manipur, Mizoram, Andhra, these are total, they form 10% only. Okay, so the pattern of net zone area varies greatly from one state to another state. Okay, so now you've seen this. Now the forest area in 1960-61 was 18%, and in 2014 and 15 it was only 23.3%. Okay, now like you see, the forest area have increased over time. Okay, but what was the percentage? That was 33%. Okay, now why is it necessary to have? We should have at least 33%. But what are we having? We are having only 23%. Okay, in 14-15, but we need 33%. Why? This is essential to maintain the ecological balance. Okay, if we need to maintain our ecological balance, we need to have how many percent? Somebody tell me. Moksha? 33%. Okay. Okay, now let's talk about the land degradation. Okay, this means, what is the definition of land degradation? The decline in the quality of land is known as land degradation. Okay, now degradation are causes. Let's talk about causes. That is deforestation, overgrazing, over irrigation. Cement industries generate huge amount of dust, industrial waste. Okay, now what are the causes, and now we have how do we conserve it. So for conservation we have forestation. We should plant more trees for so that we can have better forestation. Next is management of grazing land. Okay, proper irrigation so that it is never over watered. Control of mining activities and treating industrial waste before discharge. So we have okay, so now we are going to talk about the soils of different types of India of in India. Okay, so first we have alluvial soil. Okay, can anybody read this for me? Aryan, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, yes, Aryan, read this for me. Alluvial soil.
It is the most fertile soil. It is spread over 40% area of India. Alluvial soil is mostly found in northern plains and coastal plains of India, deposited by Ganga, Brahmaputra, and Indus in northern plains, and deposited by deltas of Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna, and Kaveri on coastal areas. There are two types of alluvial soil: old alluvium, Bangar, to new alluvium, Khadar. It has
It is
In
present.
it is present fine particles of sand, silt, and clay. It has adequate proportion of potash, phosphoric acid, and lime. It is ideal for growth of wheat, paddy, sugarcane, etc.
Okay, so next. Okay, so next we have black soil. Moksha, are you able to read this?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Black soil is also regular soil. This soil is best for growing cotton. That is why it is also called cotton soil. The soil is formed from the weathering of igneous rocks. It is found mostly in Maharashtra, Saurashtra, Malwa, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh region. Black soil can hold the moisture for a long time. It contains good amount of calcium carbonate, potassium, magnesium, and lime present.
good. Okay, red and yellow soil. Dharia, your audio is not working. Okay, Aryan, you read.
Red and yellow soil looks red due to diffusion of fire. Looks yellow in hydrated form. Derived from weathering of crystalline igneous rock in areas of low rainfall. Found in parts of Odisha, Chhattisgarh, and south and eastern part of Deccan Plateau.
Good. Read this also. Laterite soil.
Laterite soil. It is found in areas with high rainfall and high temperature. This soil is less fertile because its topmost layer gets washed away due to leaching. Very less amount of humus content is present. Found in Kerala, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Madhya Pradesh, and hilly areas of Odisha and Assam.
Okay, so what are the crops that are grown here? That is tea, coffee, cashew nut. Okay, we also have a map here where you can see where it is grown. Fine. Next is the arid soil. Moksha, you read.
Okay, ma'am. Arid soil. Found in areas with scanty rainfall, the color of the soil is red to brown, sandy in texture and saline in nature. Due to high temperature, soil lacks in humus and moisture. The lower layer of the soil is occupied by kernel because increasing calcium content downwards. found in western Rajasthan.
Okay. Next is the forest soil. I can also say the mountain soil. Okay. Continue reading, Moksha.
Okay, ma'am. Forest soil found in hilly and mountainous area where sufficient rainfall is available. This soil found in Himalayan region, western and eastern Ghats and some parts of peninsula is found in India. Soil is loamy and silty in valley sides and coarse grained in the upper slopes. This soil is rich in humus but poor in potash, phosphorus and lime.
Okay. Next, we are going to talk about the problem of soil erosion. Okay. Continue this, Moksha.
Soil erosion and soil conservation. Soil erosion. The removal of topmost fertile layer of soil is called soil erosion. Soil erosion leads to loss of soil fertility. Three types of soil erosion.
Okay. So we have the gullies, we have the ravines, or we have the sheet erosion, and we have wind erosion. The gullies, these are here, the fertile soils are washed away, and in ravis also, this is mostly in the chambal areas from the mountains, where the from the top of the mountain, the fertile soil are falling down. Now sheet erosions are by flood, and we have erosion. Now wind erosion is that the wind blowing away the fertile soil. Okay, now soil erosion, how do we conserve this? So we have contour plowing. Okay, like you see in this line, the plowing is done in a wavy form. Okay, now in mountains there is terrace forming. This also helps in soil conservation. There is strip cropping and there is shelter belts. There are trees in the way, in between, like this we have. So this prevents the this helps in soil conservation. Okay, so we have done the entire chapter. Okay, and I'm going to start a new share, that is we will do. Oh, okay, so I'm going to start a new share. Okay, you see my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
So we are going to do, just a minute. Let's do question and answers. We have some MCQs here. We will not do that. We will do the long answer. Okay. Now, what type of soil is found in the river deltas in the eastern coast? Give three main features of this type of soil. Okay, now you should understand the type of soil. Now we are talking about the alluvial soil. Okay, that we had just gone in the presentation. Okay, so somebody read this answer. Aryan, read this answer.
This type of soil found in river deltas is alluvial soil. It is very fertile and therefore good for cultivation of crops. It consists of various proportions of sand, silt, and clay. Alluvial soil has good quantity of potash, lime, and phosphoric acid, which is good for the good growth of paddy and sugarcane.
Good. Next is what is the type of what are the steps taken to control soil erosion in hilly areas? Okay, Moksha, just read the answer.
Okay, ma'am. The main techniques that can be used are given below. First one, counter plowing. Second, terrace farming. Third, strips of grass are allowed to grow between the crops. The method is known as strip cropping.
Good. What are the biotic and abiotic resources that we have done? Okay, now just go through this biotic and abiotic. Okay, now these biotic is first of all it is something from the atmosphere. Okay, from the biosphere. Okay, now these are the resources that are obtained from the biosphere. Now these resources have life. Okay, And now examples of plant, animal, fish, human beings also are resources, livestock, etc. Now abiotic are those that biotic have life, so abiotic has non-living. Okay, so these resources are composed of non-living things. Examples are water, minerals, metals, wind, solar energy. Next, we answer the following questions in about 120 words. I will send you this question and answers on WhatsApp. Okay, you can go through it and download it. Now, explain the land use in India and why it has the land under forest not increased since 1960 to 61. Okay, now the use of land. The use of land determined by both physical factors such as topography, climate and social type, as well as human factors such as population density, technological capability, culture tradition, and the pattern of the net zone area varies greatly from one state to another. It is over 80% of the total land in Haryana and Punjab. These are the cultivatable land, and less than 10% that I told you that we had seen in Arunachal Pradesh, Mizoram, Manipur, and Andaman Nicobar Island. Now, forest area in the country is far lower than the desired 33% of the geographical area, as outlined in the National Forest Policy, what in 1952. It was considered essential for the maintenance of the ecological balance. Now, a part of the land is determined as wasteland, and it is put to other non-agricultural uses like settlements. Settlements means people are living over there. Roads, railways, industries, etc. Industries, especially in the mountainous area, we have the cement industry. Okay, so this give out a lot of dust, so it is not cultivable. So includes rocky and arid and desert areas. Continuous use of land over a long period of time without taking appropriate measures to conserve and manage it has all resulted in land degradation. So these are the reasons. You can also say the question might be a little twisted. You can say these are the reasons why we have less than 33% forest. Yeah, why we have less than 33% forest. Okay, now how has technical and economical development led to more consumption of resources? So these are the various reasons. There are the various reasons for this. The large scale production has led to utilization of resources. Okay, now technological advancement led to greater exploitation of resources. Now, as technologically has we have greater factories, so now whatever they are exploiting the resources. Now, improved medical and health resources led to huge consumption of resources. Okay, now these are the reasons why technical and economical development has led to more consumption of resources. Okay, I think we have done almost everything from your reader. You should go through this map. Okay, you should go through this map. Okay, in your reader, this is very important. I think we have. Do you want to do the MCQs also? Let's do the MCQs. Okay, now which one of the following reasons of resources is iron ore? This is all I have given the answer. I will send it to you. You don't have to worry about it. Let me show you the notes. We have done all this. We have done all this. Yeah, like I told you, this graph is there. It is important. Okay, so we have 43%. 43% we have plains. Okay, we have 43% plains. We have 27% plateau, and we have 30% of mountains. Okay, let's talk about land utilization. So land resources are used for the following purposes: forest, land not available for cultivation, that is the barren and the wasteland, land put to non-agricultural uses. Okay, now there is fallow land. Now other uncultivated land, that is excluding the fallow land. Then there is the net zone areas. Okay, land use patterns in India are factors are topographic, climate, and social types. Human factors are what is how land is used and determined. That is the population density. The population is increasing, so the land utilization is also increasing. Next is technology capability is also leading to uses of utilization of resources, and agriculture and cultural tradition. Of course, the data below represents the land use pattern in India. This we have done. It shows the wasteland, land degradation, conservation methods. We have done this. Okay, now we have done classification of soils. I will send you these notes. Okay, now these are all details of the soil. Arid soil is there, forest soil. Okay, now this map, like I told you, you have to, you might get this map in exam. Okay, now you have to mark where are the alluvial, or these are the alluvial. Okay, now here we have red and yellow in the pink areas. Okay, and we have arid. Okay, that is usually that is the dry land that you can say in Rajasthan. Okay, and we have laterite here in, that is a very light pink that is here. Okay, okay. We have to talk about soil erosion, how the different ways for soil conservation. Okay, now this is the end. Hi Sitri, you have joined very late.
No, ma'am.
Okay, okay, you're there in time. Fine.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, everyone. Okay, I am going to stop the share, and then let's talk about if anybody has any questions. Let's take up the questions. Any topic that you want me to repeat, I will do that. Anybody has any questions to ask? No? Okay, then I'll do one thing. I will share all. I will share the notes also. I will share the question and answers also. Other than that, if anybody has, if you have no questions, we will end our class now. Okay. You all have to join me again after an hour before the English class. Okay. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Bye for now.
Bye, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Bye bye.